Hey, all you Gretas and Shutezcots out there. We're going to go through Unit 1, Section 1, Ecology and Ecosystem Notes. So here we go. There's a video I'm not going to show you now, but it's really funny, so you should watch it. It is on the campus in the notes there. So ecology, and this is starting with your Unit 1 packet on page 1. Ecology, the study of connections in nature between biotic, living, and abiotic or non-living components. So bio means life. When you took biology, that was the study of living things. So anything that is abiotic would be non-living. Definitely know those words. So levels of organization in ecology. So you start with, let me move my face over here. Ooh, that was fun. We have an organism. So that's your individual being, one thing. Your population is a group of individuals of the same species, and then you put a bunch of living things together and you get your community. So those are your plants and your animals. Anything living, anything biotic makes up a community. Biotic and abiotic make up an ecosystem. So you have everything interacting with each other. You have your plants, your animals, the air, the water, the rocks, everything. And then all of those in a large area become biomes, which is the next section of notes. And then eventually they become your biosphere, which literally means life circle or life ball. And this is everything on the earth and where it is found. So that's page 1 of your notes. There we go. Okay, moving me. Ooh. Now I'm up at this corner. So what 3 factors sustain life on Earth? So we have our one-way flow of high-quality energy. You have energy that comes from the sun, and it goes to everything. So the energy goes from the sun to the producers, which are your plants, to your primary consumers, to your secondary consumers, and to your tertiary consumers and anything that might eat them. All of this section you have had before once, if not twice before, so this should be fairly reviewed for you, hopefully. So first factor is our one-way flow of high-quality energy, great energy from the sun. Look, we're just moving me all over today. We also have round-trip cycling of matter or nutrients throughout the biosphere. So energy is a one-way trip, and nutrients are a cycle. So we have the sulfur cycle, the carbon cycle, water cycle, nitrogen cycle, and phosphorus. And the reason that phosphorus is down here is that it is unique in that it's not found in the atmosphere. So that sounds like a really good test question to me. It's shown up from time to time. So phosphorus is only in land and living things and water. It's never found in the atmosphere. And number 3 is we have gravity. Keeps us down to earth. But we do have gravity, which allows life on this planet to live. So biotic, living or once living. So paper is made from wood, and wood comes from trees, and trees used to be alive. So you could consider that biotic. Versus abiotic is non-living, which means it's not alive, it never was alive, it never will be alive. So things like rocks, things like plastic, these things were never alive. So there we go. And so on your paper, it says list things in a forest ecosystem and then in a desert ecosystem. So you got some challenges there. And then we're going to go down to the bottom of the page, and we're going to look at some different symbiotic relationships. Once again, you've had this in freshman biology. This should be fairly familiar to you guys. So we have 3 types of a symbiotic relationship. On the corner. So here on your notes is where you're going to put it. 3 types of symbiotic or symbiosis relationships. We have mutualism, where both parties benefit. So when I taught this in freshman, I would have them put 2 smiley faces. So Nemo benefits from the anemone because it provides them safety in a home, and the anemone benefits because Nemo eats all the little nasties that are floating around. So a win-win situation. Then we have commensalism. Commensalism is one party benefits and the other one really doesn't matter. So like the lampreys that attach to like a shark will go on shark adventures and eat all the discarded stuff, but they're not really bugging the shark at all. So the shark could care less. So one is happy and one really isn't bothered too much. And then we have parasitism, and so one is happy because they get food, and the other one is sad because they're being consumed. So ticks and fleas and lice and tapeworms, those kind of things would be considered a parasite. So on your packet are these questions. So go ahead and pause this and attempt, if you haven't already attempted these, and attempt these on your own, and then I will go on to the answers. So here we go. Moving me over here. Nope, over here. I'm everywhere. So dog and a flea, this is definitely going to be a parasitic relationship because the flea lives in or on the dog. Algae and fungus are working together, so that would be mutualism. Bacteria in the gut of the termite breaks down stuff, and the cellulose, they need these little bacteria, and then the bacteria have a safe place to live, so this is also mutualism. The remora on the shark, sorry, remoras, not lampreys. Fish swim alongside the shark, and they're just like the little groupies, and they eat all the nasties, so that is commensalism, because the shark does not care. Anything that's unaffected or does not care. The cattle egret follows herds of cattle and eats the insects, and the cattle, once again, unaffected. So unaffected usually means commensalism. And then human in a tapeworm. Tapeworm's happy because they get food. Human is not happy because I got a tapeworm. All right, so there's that. Moving on. Oops. So a niche, which is how you pronounce that word, is a species' role in its environment. So it's not just the habitat, it's where they are in the food web, mating and eating behaviors, kind of everything. So if a habitat is where you live, your niche is how you live. Think of like an online dating profile. All the stuff about you, that is your niche. Not that you should be doing online dating yet. So here's examples of different critters. They're all in the same area on the beach, but they all have different niches, so they don't interact with each other. They don't have that competition with each other because you have separate niches. When you have the same niche, that's when you have competition. We also have, ooh, that's funky, resource partitioning. So this is when species avoid competition by dividing up use of resources. So here's multiple birds that all live in the same tree, but they live in different parts of the tree. So they're dividing up the resources. So by having different parts that they live in, they're not competing with each other, and everybody is happy. So the big fancy term is resource partitioning. And then we have the competitive exclusion principle. If competition is present, the species will be excluded from the niches that they might otherwise be able to inhabit. So what this means is you're not going to ever have two species in the same niche at the same time. So you're going to have competition, you're going to have a winner, you're going to have a loser. So what we have is our fundamental niche, which is all the possible places that something can be found. And then you have your realized niche, which is the actual place that they're found with competition. So before this year in the cafeteria, you could have sat anywhere you wanted. But I bet you had like your spot, you had your table, you had your seat that you sat in. So your fundamental niche would be the entire cafeteria, and your realized niche would be where we could actually find you in the cafeteria. So those are the differences there. And that is it. So I want each and every one of you guys to know that you are smart enough, you are good enough, and that people like you. And if I don't see you, good afternoon, good night, and good God, do your homework.